Hello everyone. I hope you are well. And yours are well too. I'm well. Today I'm going to discuss which pathway you should take. If you're a level 3 candidate, you have to make a decision. This is the first time you have to make a decision because previously it was always like CFA Institute would give you just this level 3 exam. You register and you start preparing. But now you have to choose for February 2025 one of the three pathways. So I am getting this question from so many students which pathway they should select. Now, being from this part of the world here, there are not that many opportunity to do investment management, right? So many of these candidates haven't worked in investment management. They are working in different field and they want to transition into investment management. So they're not sure themselves. But because this video will be watched world over, so I would discuss this broadly. But remember, you may need to consult specifically someone like me or another someone who is a tutor to get a more specific advice. But this one is more general, so I'm not targeting any particular area or any particular industry, but this is more general. So the first thing that you should think about is which pathway is the easiest to pass, right? Yeah, let's be honest because the exam is tough and only half of the candidates who appear in the exam are able to pass. The first question is which path is easy to pass. I'll talk about that, and we will go with. I would recommend going with the one which is the most easy one. But that's not the only thing to consider. Another thing to consider is the demand, because remember, post result, there will be only very few CFA level 3 qualified candidates who will have expertise in either of these specialized pathways. Because this, unlike the traditional pathway, there is nothing in the past. No CFA has ever qualified with specialization in alternative investments, for example, or no CFA has ever qualified with specialization in, for example, private wealth management. So this is also a factor that should be considered, that it will probably be more easy for you to join these industries once you will inform the employer that you have selected a pathway which gives you, a lot of understanding of the industry. See, unlike if you go with the traditional pathway, what I keep on calling traditional is but officially CFA Institute is calling portfolio construction, but I'll call it traditional. I'll explain later on why. But if you go for that pathway, then you won't be that special because there are so many CFA level 3 qualified who have studied the same material and who have over the years. So someone who qualified in 2024, 2023 will be similar as someone who's qualified in 2025 with this traditional pathway. But if you select the alternative investment, which CFA Institute is calling private markets, uh, then you will be so special because you will be the first group coming out of CFA Institute who will be able to claim that you have a specialized understanding of alternative investments, and that is where then you can be very attractive for private equity firms, for many firms which focus on these alternative investments. And similarly, if you go for private wealth management, you'll be the first group ever who will be able to go to employer and tell them that, look, I can help you in private wealth management better than other CFA chart holders in terms of understanding, at least because I've studied the material. Unlike anyone else, any CFA chart holder who qualified before 2025 cannot claim to know that much about private wealth management or managing money for rich clients as you do. So you see, that's the second factor, the demand. That should also be considered. And the third factor is enjoying the learning, the process. Remember, learning is fun. CFA learning is very much fun. I always tell students there is nothing like it. You learn and enjoy at the same time, which is something that many students have never experienced. There is a video, actually 15-year-old video of my student talking about it on YouTube, and you can see that someone has expressed this. I do not remember who she was, but her words are still ringing in my head. And she said, "This is the first time I'm enjoying studying and enjoying," or something like that. So you need to know which material you'll enjoy. So look at the contents and see if you're particularly excited about, for example, managing money for high net worth clients, because that involves understanding estate planning and taxes and lot of very specific kind of information. On the other side, what if you find that venture capital investing or private equity investing or private markets are more exciting? So learning about it. So because CFA Institute is giving you the opportunity to learn about these specialized industries. So that's the third factor that I can think of that should be considered by a student in selecting which pathway. So let's start with the first one, the easiest one. Which one is the easiest to pass? Now, CFA Institute has said that all three will have same difficulty. Well, what CFA Institute can talk about difficulty is in the difficulty of the exam. But what about preparation? Obviously, CFA Institute is not going to make preparation easy or difficult for all three because that's not what they focus on. They focus on the exam only. So which one is easy to prepare for and obviously easy to pass? Because if you can prepare well, you can pass the exam. Now that's where things get a bit complicated. Now, if you have background, if you are already working in alternative investments, or if you are already working in private wealth management, then those pathways are relatively easy for you to study for and prepare for. On the other side, if you are like many of my students who have never worked in investment management, and for them everything is new, then preparing for the traditional pathway or the portfolio construction pathway, portfolio management pathway is relatively easy, actually much easy to prepare for. Why? Because for this pathway, there is a lot of preparation material available, a lot of coaching is available because it is same as last year. The readings are almost same as last year. There is a slight change, but overall it is almost same. So you can easily rely on past videos, past material, and even your tips from your seniors. Those who have already passed this exam will also be helpful. All of this will make preparing for the traditional path easier. I'm not saying the exam will be easier, but the contents, the advice, the coaching will be so easily available that it will be easy to prepare for the exam. On the other side, for the new pathways, one, you do not have anyone who's prepared for that and appeared in the exam, so you cannot get any advice from someone. No one has done that because it's the first time it is being offered. So that is one. So no one will be there to help you in terms of how to prepare those topics. Secondly, there are not videos available. Coaching is not available. There is contents are not available in terms of preparation material because that's new. Over the time, you will see more and more material becoming available. If you want to rely on coaching, if you want to rely on some kind of notes. But if you are going to study from CFA Institute material, if you this is how you have passed level 1 and level 2, then obviously this issue does not come in the picture. The discussion should not be about that. That does not matter here because CFA Institute is providing you immediately the curriculum and the practice material. But if you have passed level 1 and level 2 using third-party preparation tools, then the question is whether those tools will be available for all three pathways or not. Remember, see, many of the third-party providers have either stopped investing resources into this business or have completely gone out of business because CFA Institute is now providing question bank and mock exams. So you need to check with the prep provider that you're going to rely on whether they will provide coaching and whether they will provide notes and other material and the stuff for the pathway that you are selecting, and when will that be available. So if you prefer a particular instructor or if you prefer a particular type of preparation material, then you better check with them that when that material will be available, because it may take them a couple of months or maybe even more than that, or maybe they are not going to provide it for certain pathways. That would make preparation very difficult for you. That's another factor that should be considered in identifying which pathway will be easier for you to pass. I'm not saying that from exam point of view, any pathway is easy or difficult, but from preparation point of view, obviously CFA Institute is not there. It's your job to prepare, and then some pathways may become difficult to prepare for the exam. So that is what came to my mind from preparation point of view. Um, if you have background, then obviously, if you have background, for example, in alternative investment, then that is the easier one for you to prepare. If you have background in wealth management, then it is easier one for you to prepare. The second thing is demand, as I have mentioned, that there will be very few charter holders who or those who will pass level 3 with specialization in alternative investments or in private wealth management. So that may allow you to stand out. If you're planning to join an industry, look at your class fellows, look at your seniors, and check which industry is more likely for you to join if you have not already joined one of the obvious industries. And then going for that pathway will make more sense because you will stand out compared to someone who has not studied, for example, alternative investment in level three. You will stand out because you have specialized in that, or someone who has studied wealth management will stand out compared to other guys who have not studied wealth management. And remember, at least for first couple of years, this will be a big advantage because you won't be competing against anyone who passed in 24, 23, or 22 because no one has studied that pathway. As opposed to if you go for the traditional pathway, you'll be competing against those who have passed in 2023, 22 because they've studied the same material. So do look at the demand, do look at this, that can you benefit from this? If there are more jobs in, for example, private equity, where you can see yourself applying, then going for this pathway is going to be more helpful. But that will depend on individual situation and depending on which city, country you are in and what kind of job opportunities are there. But that's not a trivial thing. You cannot just ignore it because I can think of someone who has passed level 3 with the specialization in, for example, alternative investment, and when he will apply, she will apply to a job in private equity. Then he or she will stand out because someone else who has just passed using the traditional portfolio management pathway. Third is the material. Which material do you enjoy based on your earlier studies? Maybe you already have a preference. Maybe you enjoy learning about fixed income more in detail. Maybe you want to learn about passive versus active equity management. Maybe markets, public markets investing is more attractive to you. And in that case, the traditional pathway of portfolio construction is going to be the one that you will find interesting to learn about. Remember, as a teacher, I can tell you, whatever you find more interesting to learn about, you excel in that. So if you have a particular, for example, if markets are exciting, if you like to read about markets, if you like to learn about what is causing markets to move, equity markets and fixed income market, then go with the traditional path, the portfolio management, portfolio construction one, because you will learn so much about markets. Honestly, I do not know about others, but for me, that's such a big part of being a CFA chart holder. Whenever I meet people, we talk about markets all the time, public markets, apart from just the work. Even for my own personal portfolio, because my personal portfolio is not in alternative investment, it is still in traditional investment. And so many people that I informally advise, they also have investments in traditional investment, and that those are stocks and bonds. And knowing about stock and bond is, I think, what is my face of as a CFA chart holder. When I talk to people, I know about markets. I know about interest rates and how these bond prices will be affected, and how stock markets will perform. Whether you should go for passive investing or active investment. So, to me personally, if I at this stage, I do not know as a student what I would have done, but at this stage, if I have to learn about public markets, then that's something that is so enjoyable that do not want to miss about that. But again, that's one of the factors, right? That's personal preference. To me, markets, public markets, are fascinating. Knowing about how these prices move, how markets move, how fixed income, for example, prices move. That's so fascinating because this is what we see all the time. And this helps me personally in managing my own portfolio. So if I had not learned about that, I do not know how effectively I would have managed my personal portfolio, my investments. Because personally, I do not see much opportunity for myself in private markets. And obviously, I'm not thinking of doing wealth management for someone. So if you are, for example, like many of my students, you are doing CFA to eventually manage your own investments, then I think public markets are crucial for you to understand because that's where your investments will be, in my opinion, again. So these are the things that came to my mind. This is just kind of recently that CFA Institute has released the syllabus. I'll keep thinking about it, and if something else comes to my mind, I'll post another video about it. So just wanted to share some ideas. Unfortunately, there is no simple answer. If you were hoping to get a simple answer from this video, I do not have a simple answer. But I've just listed factors that, as an analyst, I would consider before making this decision, if I had to make this decision. Okay, guys, take care. See you next time. Bye.